Okay, so you guys wanted to learn about taxes, and I'm actually really happy to talk about this with you. There won't be a lot of math in this, as in order for you to kind of understand taxes, I have to explain them. This is more of a social studies video than it is a math video, but I mean later we can get into the math gritty of it. So let's go ahead and launch into this. So what are taxes? As you can see here, taxes is money paid to a government in exchange for public goods and services. A tax is calculated of a percentage of a property tax, sales tax, and income tax. So this week we talked about simple interest and how to find simple interest. And when you guys think about taxes, I want you to kind of consider that simple interest being taken out of these three things. There's actually four things that we're going to talk about, not just three, but these are the big three ones that people usually hear about. Another thing I want to tell you is that taxes are not new. Taxes have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Romans had a tax. So don't think that this is just something that just kind of popped out of nowhere for no reason. Why do I have to pay taxes? As I said here earlier, taxes are basically money that's taken in exchange for public goods and services. So these are the public goods and services. So you're looking at things like right here, you're seeing that law enforcement is one, transportation, education, and national defense. Law enforcement and public safety, these are your police officers, your firefighters, and another division called public safety. And the money that is taken from taxes pays for their salaries and it pays for their equipment. So pretty much everything that is a police officer, from their salary down to their uniform, is paid for through taxes, unless they for some reason go and buy their own clothing from one of the military surplus stores. Same thing for firefighters. Their fire trucks come from taxes. So do their buildings and equipment. They don't pay, taxes don't pay for all their training though. Police officers and firefighters have to enroll in schools and pay for that themselves, so you're not paying for that. Transportation is not what you think. It's not cars or anything like that. It's actually money that's used to go towards building and repairing roads and bridges. There's a couple of states that actually don't get to have this tax from the government because they don't have laws that the government's okay with. I can't recall the one off the top of my head, but there's a state that has a legal drinking age of 18, and so the government will not use any transportation tax to repair their roads, so the roads in that state are not particularly good. Education, that's me, hi, yo. Your taxes that are pulled from everything are spent towards the public schools, not charter schools. Charter schools have a tuition that your parents have to pay for, so this is for public schools only. The money here goes towards the supplies, buildings, and teacher salaries. The supplies are limited, so that's why you hear that teachers spend a lot of their own money on that. If you guys come into my room, I can guarantee about probably 60% of this room is actually paid for by me. But the desk and the bookshelves and the computers that you will see in here actually come from the district, not from me. National defense, that's me again. So 20% of all income helps to pay for our military and equipment. Just as a reminder, we do have one of the larger military forces in the world right now. This tax that is pulled from here pays for the salaries of the military people, their VA benefits as well. So if a military person separates from the military and they happen to be disabled, your tax dollars do pay for their disability as well. Also, if there's a military person that dies in the line of fire, taxes are used to help compensate for the families that might be struggling after that time. The uniforms, I can tell you for a fact, military people have to pay for their own uniforms and their shoes and their ribbons, and they have to pay for their own ironing and things like that. So don't think that military people are getting a free skate there, because they're not. So does this make sense? And it happens all the time. A senator says that they are going to increase teacher pay, police, and firefighter pay, and that he is also going to lower taxes. So as we said earlier, if taxes are actually being used to pay for all of these things, is lowering taxes on this situation actually making sense? The answer overall is no, unless they're going to play with the state budget. And I'm not even going to talk about that with you guys. But that's really the only way that it can happen. So in order for these things to go up, taxes also have to go up. Saying that you're going to increase teacher, police, and firefighter pay but lower taxes makes no sense at all. So here we have 4 different types of taxes. We have property, payroll, paycheck, and sales tax. Up here before, when you guys saw property, sales, and income tax, what you did not see was payroll tax. And the reason that you are not going to see payroll tax overall is because payroll tax is actually not paid by you, it's paid by the employer, but we'll talk about that more. Property tax, if you own property, a house, land, whatever, you're going to pay tax on that. That's because property tax has been classified as commercial piece of property. Commercial piece of property means that you use it for whatever your reasons are. Right here, your taxes that you pay on your property go towards fire protection, garbage pickup, law enforcement and protective services in that area, road and recreation of that area, and general government services. I tried to figure out, excuse me, what general government services were, and I couldn't really kind of find a concrete thing. It kind of changes from state to state and changes from time to time. So don't ask me about that. I'm not super sure. If you happen to know what this is, please respond to this video and let me know. And let's see, payroll tax. Payroll tax, like I said, is actually paid by the employer. Your employer pays taxes for their business, which goes towards state unemployment insurance, federal unemployment tax, and federal insurance contribution, so Social Security and Medicare programs. A lot of times you'll see that your Social Security and Medicare gets pulled out anyway, but mostly the payroll tax goes towards unemployment. So let's say that you have a job somewhere and you lose your job and it's another recession and you can't find anywhere to work. State unemployment will actually help take care of you until you're able to find a job, but you don't get a free skate. Like, you have to do a lot of work while you're unemployment, so don't think that. Income tax. Income tax is money a person makes when they work at a job. The tax is money that paid to the government out of the person's income. So, for example, when I get my paycheck, I see that there are, some taxes taken out of it. There's my state retirement, right? So that way, when I turn 60, I can just, take it easy for the rest of my life, or so I hope. Food and nutrition assistance and supplemental security income. So this goes a lot towards kind of when I'm not going to be working anymore, hopefully. I know there's a little bit more to this. This is just kind of overall. I didn't want to get too in-depth with this one. Sales tax. Sales tax is the tax on everything that you buy, such as clothing, dog food, and books. So sales tax is mostly used a lot in states, and they use it to assist the surrounding area to rebuild or improve. So this process right here is called jurification. So, for example, I live in Mesa, Arizona, and over by Mesa Community College, that surrounding area has gone through a huge has gone through a huge improvement. When I first moved out here, I want to say probably, it's been 10 years. When I moved out here 10 years ago, that area looked horrible. It was trash. But if you go over there right now, they've redone the sidewalks. They've got lights, road dividers. It looks really good. But it's not just towards those kind of areas, but you're looking at libraries, zoos, parks, jails, and museums, and civic areas. So basically, the sales tax is used to help improve the area, because if you guys live anywhere for a certain period of time, you'll see that there's a lot of wear and tear and that it needs repair. Haha, I made it right. States get more money from local business than large corporations, which is why people urge you to shop local. This is very true. I can't remember the exact percentage. I think if it's from a large corporation, it's 12%, and then if it's from a local business, we get 46%. And I'm not saying that the sales taxes, that they're taxing local stores more than large corporations. We just don't get as much funding because obviously large corporations have some other legal thingy that I don't understand. Again, I'm not a legal tax expert. I'm just your math teacher, so.